Rahim. I am Nadeem Khan from JK College. Today we are going to discuss the class 10 chapter number 11 organic chemistry, and my topic is general characteristics of organic compounds. It can also be the general properties of organic compounds. You may have such a question in your board exam or internet exams. So if this question falls is a short question, they will ask about write any three properties or characteristics of organic compounds. Then you have to write any three of them. But if this question falls is a long question in your exam, then you have to write all the 7 characteristics of organic compounds. So now this topic means what are the main properties of organic compounds, general properties that is carried by almost all the organic compounds. So let me start with the occurrence. Occurrence means where the organic compound occurs, how they are obtained, from where they are obtained. So remember that the main sources of organic compounds are the plants and animal bodies. So most of the organic compounds are obtained from plants or animal bodies, and the organisms once they live, I mean fossil fuels, for example coal, natural gas and petroleum. So coal, petroleum, natural gas they are formed by the organisms which lived long ago, millions of years ago, once they were living, but they are no more. They are called fossil fuels. So most of the organic compounds are obtained from plants and animal bodies or from fossil fuels. Fossil means something living which once survived but no more now. For example, dinosaurs, for example, the huge trees which exist millions of years ago. So almost all organic compounds are obtained from these sources. Now let me proceed towards the second property of the organic compounds, that is the covalent nature. Remember that, let's say this is carbon. Carbon can form 4 bonds. It can also form double bond, but it will form 4 bonds. And covalent bonds, remember that 99.99% of the organic compounds are covalent. They have covalent bonds in them. That's why they have covalent nature. Very few compounds, for example organic salts, they have ions, while all other organic compounds they have covalent bonds and they do not have the ionic bonds. So covalent nature is the second property of the organic compounds. Similarly, let me proceed towards the third one, that is the composition. Composition means which elements make organic compounds. So remember that carbon is the essential element in organic compounds. For a compound to be organic, the presence of carbon is essential. And also remember that in many compounds, too many compounds, when carbon is there in an organic compound, there are hydrogen atoms associated with it. Not only the hydrogen, but oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen, they can also be present in organic compounds. So the composition of organic compound is the main figure is the carbon. In many compounds hydrogen, and in few compounds these 4 elements, that is oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus and nitrogen. Now let me proceed towards the fourth one, that is the melting and boiling points. Remember that organic compounds, we have studied that organic compounds are covalent in nature. This means they have covalent bonds, and you know any compound which has covalent bond, it is composed of molecules. And molecules have very weak forces of attraction. So when they have weak forces of attraction, we can break these forces easily. So they can be easily evaporated, they can easily be boiled, they can easily be changed from the solid to liquid state. I mean, they can easily be melted. So that's why the melting points and boiling points of organic compounds are very low. They have low melting points and boiling points. That's why most of the organic compounds exist in form of gaseous state. Some of them are liquids, but very few are solids. So this is the main reason due to their low melting and boiling points. Now let me proceed towards the fifth property, that is the solubility. Solubility means where the organic compound can and in which solvent they can dissolve. Remember that most of the organic compounds are non-polar. You have studied in your 9th class that when a compound is non-polar, it must be soluble in non-polar solvent like benzene, carbon tetrachloride, ether, etc. Carbon disulfide also. So water is a polar solvent. Most of the organic compounds are non-polar, so they are insoluble in water. Some organic compounds are polar. For example, sugar, urea, glucose, ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, they are polar. So they are soluble in polar solvent like water. And the most of the organic compounds are what? They are insoluble in water because they are non-polar. So organic compounds are of two types, polar and non-polar. Polar are soluble in polar solvent like water, and the non-polar organic compounds are soluble in non-polar solvents like carbon tetrachloride, benzene, ether, and many others. Okay. Now let me proceed towards the next one, that is the similarity in behavior. This is one of the property of the organic compounds, and it should be addressed in a bit detail because this is important. Similarity in behavior means, for example, if I take the example of methane has formula CH4, ethane has formula C2H6, propane has formula C3H8, butane has formula C4H10, pentane has formula C5H12. If you subtract this from this here is 1, C2 minus C1 we get C, and from 6 minus 4 we get what? H2. Similarly, look at these two members, propane and ethane. C3 minus C2, C8 minus 6, 2. Here 4 minus 3, 1, and 10 minus 8, 2. So there is a difference of CH2 between any two members. Any two members, they differ from each, but they are which are consecutive, which are adjacent. So the difference between any two members is one methylene group, that is CH2. So such a series of compounds in which any two members differ from each other by one CH2 group is called homologous series. And remember that what is the importance of the homologous series? It has made the study of organic compound very easily. For example, this is the family of alkanes. If you study methane, this means you have studied all the other alkanes because they have properties similar to methane. So this has made the study of organic compounds easy, and it's very millions of many alkane, thousands of alkanes are there. If you study it individually, so it will be a madman task. So it's impossible to study each and every compound individually, but they are closely related to each other. If you study the one member, this means you have studied the chemistry of all the other members. So this can make the study of organic compound easy, very easy. If you study the one compound, this means you have studied the chemistry of all other compounds. This is called homology. Homo means same, logy means study. So if you let's say I have taken the example of the alkanes. If you take the example of alcohol, study the first member, all the other members have the similar properties. So the similarity in behavior, on the basis of this we have grouped all the organic compounds which are chemically similar in a group which is called homologous series. So now this is the final property of the organic compound, reaction rates. How fast the organic compounds react. Remember that, let me repeat my words. Organic compounds are covalent in nature. Covalent compounds are composed of what? Molecules. Covalent compounds are composed of molecules. And when molecules react, first of all, the old bonds between the atoms are broken down. Reshuffling of bonds takes place, then the new bonds are formed, and this takes some time. So that's why the reactions are slow. So let me repeat my words again. Reaction rates, the rates of organic compounds, the reaction rates of organic compounds are very slow. Why they are slow? Because organic compounds are composed of molecules, and when molecules react, old bonds are broken, or pre-existing bonds are broken down, new bonds are formed. It takes some time, and so when it takes some longer time, the rate of reaction will be slow. So the organic reactions rates are slow. Thank you all.